Welcome to the Emo Social Club podcast, broadcasting to you live from emosocialclub.tv. I am Brian.
And I'm Lizzie, and we're here this evening with another podcast. I know it's been a long time since we've done this, but we're with Bacon is My Pod. Welcome, guys, to our podcast.
Air horns. Real.
Air horns.
That was
mouth air horns.
Yeah, samples.
Samples be damned.
So we have one of those Stream Deck things.
It is unplugged over there.
It's literally collecting dust over there.
Yeah.
We should probably get that working.
Pop some air horns on.
Get some good air horns.
It's one of those things like we got a DJ rig so that we could press a button and do like cool little things. And I remembered that in our DJ software, there is an air horn sample. And like, as soon as I remember it, everything just goes to shit. Like, because now we're just pressing it all the time.
We were like, oh, we're just going to hit all these noises. And it doesn't make any sense, but it sounds cool and hype.
There was one dude who was like looking at us and he was like, do it. And I was like, all right.
Do it. Like,
and then he just like kept getting stoked as fuck every time we did it. And I'm like, dude, please don't encourage me. It's going to be a real disaster.
The fact that we were encouraged continuously and will continue to be encouraged is great.
Yeah.
I tell you what, we also will heavily lean into an audience of one if we know there's one there all the time. One person thinks this is great. I'm going to do it over and over again.
We're going to become best friends. And everybody else is going to hate us. But it's fine.
Let's have you both introduce yourselves as well. Get your names out there so people know your voices and all that.
This is the voice of Jimmy G from Bacon is My Podcast.
Yes, and I am Mike from Bacon is My Podcast.
And we are Bacon is My Podcast.
You know how bands always are like, our label told us to say our name a lot, so we're saying our name a lot.
Right.
Yeah, well, see, because we're both in bands, respectively.
Yes.
And so like now it's like, what do you say? I'm Jimmy G from Craving Strange, and I play guitar and and sing.
Thanks for the intro.
Yeah, like this is like, hey, we've got Bacon is My Podcast. Introduce yourselves, and it's like, I'm Jimmy. I
talk and
on
drink whiskey
on
a
podcast.
microphone.
Yeah. And I'm Mike. I too drink whiskey and talking to a microphone.
Fancy that.
Yeah.
Be like, I'm Mike. This is my mic.
Oh my God.
Look at that. I see what you did there.
It's what I would do every single fucking time.
Wow.
You don't have the name Mike.
I don't.
That's why.
I don't.
Right.
Brian.
No, he has
of
Brian
shit.
Brain, so it's
Dumb
okay.
little piece of shit name that I have for the rest of my life.
It could be worse.
Oh, it could be, but I also I've never heard anyone say Brian in a polite tone, including to me. Like,
I'm trying to think about that. And I don't think I've ever said Brian in a polite tone.
No, you know. I mean, when you're talking to somebody else,
Brian.
Yeah.
When you're talking to somebody else, it's Brian.
Yeah.
And
Brian.
it could be a pleasant tone, but yeah. Otherwise, it's usually what, Bri?
Yeah, you could be like,
Bri.
What's up,
No.
big Bri?
No, I hate that shit.
It's not
no.
Bri?
No.
Why?
I have this problem where I'm like, no, it's just Brian. It's always going to be Brian. It's always fucking
Two
Brian.
syllables. Make it fucking happen.
Yeah, it's just Brian. Look, I know it's not great. I know we're all struggling through my own name. Let's just move on. You know, like, it's not going to change. It's not going to be different. We can't make it cool. It just is Brian. I get it. You get it. Move the fuck on.
I will say, like, I've gotten to the point where every time I say Brian, it is like an angry, like, oh my God, Brian, or like an angry yelling Brian.
Yeah.
So you are correct in that.
Yes. It's the worst.
Yeah. Or I call you bestie, and
Fuck
that's
that.
it. Then you get upset.
Fuck that.
When you talk to him, it's actually talking at him.
Right. Yeah. We could say B. What up, B?
Yeah, what up, B? Which is the
B?
coolest letter of the alphabet.
It's the second one. It is.
We
the
have
second letter of
R's,
the
we have T's, we have S's. Like, we have so many cooler letters. S is just a very sleek letter, you know? And you're like, oh.
It is
yes.
sleek.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It sounds like it looks.
Yeah.
You look at an S and you go. "S."
Yeah.
It's
You're like learning the alphabet and you're like,
Yeah.
I know that's right. I know that's right.
Oh my
Damn.
God.
yeah, absolutely. I'm into that.
So let's introduce your actual podcast and tell us a bit about Bacon is My Podcast. Tell us about
Sure.
What it is, why bacon, aside
Why you
from
do it.
all the reasons that it's bacon.
All right. You want to take this?
Yeah, I'll take this one.
it.
So Bacon is My Podcast. Bacon is My Podcast is very much like bar style conversations with cool fucking people.
Because we get drunk and we talk shit with strangers.
Yeah. Well, they start off as strangers mostly, and then they turn into lifelong friends.
They do indeed.
Or that's what I think in my mind.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Definitely.
I'll agree.
But so what we started this during the pandemic, because that's what everybody did during the pandemic. It's like, hey, we can't do anything. Let's just talk to each other and record it.
Right.
So Jim and I, as I said earlier, we're both in two separate bands, and every once in a while, he and I, we've been playing together for better part of 15 years, and we collaborated together a few times, wrote a bunch of songs, stuff like that. And in the middle of the pandemic, he hit me up and he's like, "Hey man, like my buddy wants us to write a song for a vampire movie." And I was like, "Okay, we're gonna do that." So I had actually just finished building this studio and
the Danger Room.
Yeah, the Danger Room, if you will. And we went and we wrote this song and we put it out, and people were like, "Hey, you know," and then we were like, "Oh, this feels good again. Let's continue to write." And people just started asking, like, "Hey, just like to be a fly on the wall, to see what you guys do, what your conversations are about." And I was like, "Well, if you really think about it, all we do for the first hour to 2 hours is drink whiskey and talk shit. So let's just put a camera on." And so then that's what we ended up doing. We were like, let's kind of film it, let's put it out, let's see if anybody listens and anybody cares. And people actually kind of liked it. And then Mike hit me up one day and he was like, "Hey, I contacted like a famous old pro wrestler like just randomly, and to see if he wanted to be interviewed by us, and he said yes." And I was like, "What?" And so we had the former pro wrestler, marvelous Mark Miro, on the show, and had such a good time with him that we were kind of like, I wonder if more people would be into talking with us. And we just kind of sent the feelers out, and Mike sent the feelers out to like everybody and anybody. And I mean, you guys know how this goes. You throw shit against the wall, you see what sticks.
Yep.
It was like, "Hey, do you want to sit down?" But you do it
in the middle of a pandemic when everybody's got all the time in the world on their hands. Everything sticks.
Right. And the reason that we did Bacon is because we played a show a number of years ago. We both got offered to do a benefit show for Christmas for like a Toys of Hope type of thing, where we're raising money for underprivileged children that are on Long Island, specifically Long Island, New York, which is where we're from. And so we did this show together. We were like, well, what do we call ourselves? And I had heard an interview with someone that had said the words, said that they bought a T-shirt that said "Bacon is my passion," and they were a vegan. And I just thought "Bacon is my passion" was a really funny kind of like turn of phrase. And I was like, well, that's what we should call ourselves, and we should like bring a Foreman grill and sell bacon as like merch. And do it like $1 a slice. And so we did this one random show as "Bacon is my passion," and then years later when we started the podcast, it was like, when we put the song out, it was like, let's put it out under "Bacon is my passion." And then I was like, all right, well, we should call the podcast "Bacon is my podcast." And it's not about cooking. It's not.
I mean, it could be.
It could be. But we kind of looked at it like the metaphor, I guess, because we're both, like, we're on emo social club, so we're both like emo-y writers that everything has to mean something. So for us, it was kind of like, well, bacon is, you put bacon on any side dish or on anything and it makes it better. We're like, okay, well, what's the thing in your life that makes your life better? What's the thing that makes your day better? Or what are you into? So like if we're interviewing a band, sure, we'll talk about them as musicians and we'll talk about what they have coming out. But it's like, all right, well, what turns you on outside of this?
How do you turn off when you're done touring?
Do you like watching horror movies? Are you a comic book person? Are you into cooking? Are you into this? What's that other thing in your life
games, whatever
that kind of like turns you on? And that's what the show became about. It became about like finding a way for us to kind of like talk to someone long enough to figure out what it is aside, like get rid of their "I'm promoting" thing and turn it into like okay, now we're having a conversation. Let's see what the fuck you're about. And so that's what it all turned into.
Yeah, that's the best way to explain it. Very good.
Now, here's the thing. What is this vampire movie that the song is in, though?
Lizzie's like, let me check the vampire movie.
So that's a fun story.
It is not out yet.
It's not out yet.
It is a movie that is coming out. It's called Vampire Penance.
Yeah.
And it has gone through a couple of different names. I worked with there's a company called Polestar Productions out of Pennsylvania.
Jimmy's a movie star, by the way.
That does independent films. I was lucky enough to be a part of one or two of them, actually. And the main person, his name is John Rain, and he writes and directs, and he starred in a couple, and he's done a bunch of movies, and it's just his passion. And so while the pandemic was going on, he wasn't able to do this movie that he was contracted to do, that he was going to do, that had like a good budget, and it was this bigger thing, and it was kind of like his chance to kind of like, okay, I'm going to move up this ladder a little bit. And instead, he was like, well, while this is happening, I'll put together this little project with my friends in my hometown, and we'll make this vampire movie, and we'll make it quirky, and like it's going to be violent and crazy. And so he contacted me, and he was like, hey, I need a song for like a bar scene that's going to turn into like a slaughterhouse scene, very much like From Dusk Till Dawn, the scene with the Tito and the Tarantulas song. And he was like, would you be interested in or be able to do something like that? And I was like, oh yeah, of course I totally can do that, having no idea that I could do that.
Right.
So then he reaches out to me, and he's like,
because I have no studio and I have no means of recording anything.
He's like, hey, man,
I was just like, yes, I can do that.
Yeah. So he reaches out to me, and he's like, hey, you want to do this? I said, yeah, fuck, let's do it. And so what was it, like 2 or 3 days later, he comes in, and I'm like, all right, cool. So I've got a couple ideas. You got a couple ideas. When does this need to be done by?
Yeah.
And he's like, recorded, mastered, done in 2 weeks.
Yep.
And I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
So
it was a very quick turnaround.
Yeah. That night we wrote it.
Yeah.
And recorded it the next week. And I mixed and mastered it. And Death Be a Woman. And
then the movie got picked up by Lionsgate. And a bunch more money got put into it, and a bigger timetable got put into it, and they've completely reshot it and recast it and rewritten it, and it's becoming a much bigger thing.
Oh, wow.
The song is still going to be in it, but turns out we had a lot more time than 2 weeks.
Now this is 2 years.
Yeah. It's now been 2 years, and it's still to come out, but we both get to be...
we get to be in it.
We both get to die in it, which is fantastic.
Nice.
Hell yeah. Like in a gruesome way, or just like...
Oh, yes.
Only
in the bar scene, we will be playing the song that we wrote, and we will be slaughtered on stage.
Okay.
Nice. Okay.
As of right now, that's what it's going to be. So who knows?
It may change.
It may change.
Yeah.
It may change.
Like, oh, sorry guys, you're just kind of laying there.
Yeah,
you're just there. You just got
your. I was in with this company. I survived, and I was like, "Why am I living?"
because you are the actor.
Why am I living?
You were the actor on the scene. By the way, anybody who wants to see that movie is available on Amazon Prime right now, broke down. Go to your Amazon Prime account, and you can see it.
You can check it out.
You'll never get that hour and a half back.
My horrible acting. But my band's in it. I did get my band in it.
Yeah. You got a free music video.
I got a free music video.
Yeah, hell yeah. Go to your Amazon Prime account and also drop an Amazon Prime Twitch subscription. Look, gotta be plugging.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, there you go.
Do it up.
Yeah. See, give Bezos your money. What are we saying here?
We gotta figure.
Hey,
we gotta figure.
We
out
all need more dick
man.
rockets.
Yeah. Dude, just I hope one day to be able to send my dick into space. So
oh my god.
What I like about your theming of your pod is like we found that like through the internet, obviously everybody is way too online now. And I think the fact that like you can just easily access especially like musicians in the same way like we would read alternative press to try to find out like what are these people like are these really nice people? Like I see them at Warped Tour. Are they nice? And now that everybody like wants to be out there on Instagram and have content and podcasts and do YouTube videos and all that, like it's much easier to get to know some of your favorite bands and know like what they're about rather than just like, yeah, you wrote this song and like how nice, very cool. I literally read a tweet right before like we started recording that was like, it's crazy that you spend like years putting emotional value and like all of your trauma into a 3-minute song just so someone can go, oh, cool, and then keep going on with their life.
You're like, nice song.
That's totally true.
It's very true. It's very true.
And you know what's funny is that's coming probably from somebody that's way more famous than us,
right?
And we do.
I
the
don't
same
know for
thing.
sure, but
and
possibly.
We have way less people going, oh, cool,
Right?
Oh, cool. So, now that people can like get to know everyone behind the scenes, like, is there anybody that you've had on so far that you're like, yo, I'm so glad that like this person was really cool and super nice and they're into some really cool shit?
Yes.
Yeah. For sure.
Silverstein, for one, was super awesome and super nice and just a blast to
actually. Josh is coming back.
Yeah, we're actually getting Josh from Silverstein back again, and he was one of our earliest people that came on.
Yeah.
So that was just amazing to be able to have them.
And then what was cool about that? So. Because we started like talking with him a little bit, doing the podcast and stuff like that, my kids did like a version of Burn It Down. So that the song Burn It Down with Caleb from Beartooth, they did the breakdown. They like sang it and
his
we took a video.
Crazy screamer.
Yeah.
It's great.
And
it's great. She's got
so I sent it over to Josh and he laughed at it. And then like a couple of weeks later, randomly he texts me. He's like, hey, you got a problem with like putting your kids on a Twitch stream? And I was like, why? He was like, because Caleb is coming on our Twitch stream and we're gonna play it for him to show him your kids singing it. And I was like, oh fuck yeah,
that's cute.
Yeah,
I love that.
Absolutely. So those guys really cool. Him and Paul Mark were on.
We've been really lucky. We focused a lot on newer and up and coming bands as well to try and like, you know, like he said, we're both in bands, so the struggle of like trying to get heard and trying to get people to have any interest in you at all is always like this battle. So anytime we can get somebody on and like, okay, you're a cool person, so maybe somebody will listen to your song,
right?
Instead of just passing by. I think that helps.
Yeah, like so yeah, we've had some like pretty awesome celebrities, like we, like Patty Negri from Ghost Adventures and stuff like that. Like she was great. So like a lot of the Eric Bischoff was great. We thought he hated us and he didn't and stuff. But on the overall, like he said, we do try and. One of the ways that I approach a lot of these PR companies is like, hey, listen, if you've got somebody like we've done PR campaigns for our bands, for the podcast, we've done it. So we know that the first month sucks. It sucks because you just answer all these questions and you don't see anything happening. So I just went to them and I'm just like, hey, listen, if you got a band that you really believe in, that you think is cool, that you think would like, hang out and have a good time with us, like don't go crazy with a press kit or anything like that. Shoot me a link, shoot me their Spotify, let's talk.
Yeah, throw them to us first, and so that they immediately see a return on their investment. So they'll like in their first month it's like, oh cool, these guys are doing something for me. So it's cool to run down all the big names that you get, but for me, like we've had AJ from Werewolves, who we talk to on a regular basis. We've had Zillion, who we speak to on a regular basis. Rivals we hang out with on a regular basis. Haunter we hang out like, we were just talking about them earlier. We're gonna go hang out with them when they come to Brooklyn.
I was about to say, did you guys see that Haunter has one of the unreleased songs in like an upcoming like horror movie too?
Yeah.
On Netflix?
Yes.
Yeah.
I saw that. I was like, holy shit, that's so sick.
Yeah.
By the way, shout out to Anoma. Dude is the fucking best. Yeah. He's a sweetheart. Sweetheart of a man.
Yeah.
So that's what we found.
That's what I love hanging out with, and
we haven't met any assholes.
We haven't met any assholes. We have met, like...
They blew us off. They didn't show up.
Yes. Yeah, we've had people blow us off. We have had those episodes where it's just like, please give me something.
Yeah.
Just say something, please.
I'm in like this Facebook podcast group, and it's like very general. So it's like everybody's like, I want to start a podcast. So it's like, well, whatever. So somebody asked one day, and it came up in my newsfeed, or like, what do I do if I find out that someone I have as a guest coming up is like not good at it, like being interviewed? Like they're just very short. Somebody responded like, just cancel on them because it's not going to give you anything. And I responded, if you were a good interviewer, you would keep it and then learn how to do it properly.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you have no business doing interviewing and you suck.
I would say, like, because we've had those people where we'll do, because you do your research prior and stuff like that. Right. We've had those people where they're single word answers, and you're like, all right, we have no research, like we're just gonna go with it.
Here we go. Yeah.
And when you approach it that way, when you're not trying to interview them in just like the general way that everybody gets fucking interviewed, I think they appreciate it. Mm-hmm. And that's where I find we get some of the best interviews.
Yeah, we don't ask bands how they got their name or what the song's about. Right. Or, the questions that you can find answers for if you spend 5 seconds researching.
It's like the anti-interview almost.
Yeah. And I think that's a benefit from us being in situations where we were in interviews and being interviewed, mm-hmm. and having to answer the same questions a bunch and always having that like, I would answer wrong every time. I would just answer a different answer every time. Just to keep it going, because I was just like, you don't care. You didn't read. You didn't read. Like I sent you a press kit. Why are you asking me questions that have answers on there?
I've literally tell my students, like, because I sent some of them, we did a show together with Action Adventure here in Chicago.
Great guys.
So I set up my students, I said, hey, go interview them, like they're friends of mine, like it'll be really chill. I said, okay, do not ask these questions. They're like, why? And I'm like, don't do it.
Why?
Like, I am downstairs. They will text me and I will come up here and yell at you if you do this. And so I listened back to their tape. They didn't ask any of it. They had it flow naturally. They said they felt much better because they were like super nervous because it was like one of their first bigger interviews.
Right.
I said, hey, how'd you feel? They're like, oh no, that was like really good advice. Like we just talked about some of their stuff and fed them some more info, like BTS, since we know them. So it's kind of helping. And I'm like, that's what you need to do. And like, just do more research and like go outside the box. So I think like with a lot more of like the newer people who come into the scene who want to do interviews, they just look at all the generic stuff that is on like kind of like, I don't want to say forgotten older like rock media, but stuff that hasn't evolved in the last like decade, which is very bad and not great. Right. But they see like the QA responses, which I personally hate, especially in like written format, of like, this is just a back and forth. And it's just very generic. And it's like, it doesn't do anything for anybody. No. So when you have that more interpersonal context to it, it's like 10 times better, because then you can connect with somebody on a deeper level and actually become friends with people and just be like, oh yeah, we're chill now together, not like, oh, I interviewed them and I've never heard from them again.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, that's the other thing too is
like, how much fun is it for you as an interviewer if you're doing like, what are you even trying to accomplish out of that? You're just, it's like, I asked my set questions and then you left and then we edited it and then it was just like everything else that's out there. Whereas you could have like had a good conversation and had fun, and people want to have conversations. That's why they're on the fucking show. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. And I think another thing that we also get into a lot, just because we're songwriters, we kind of like the one thing that we always get with musicians is we can always dive deep on the songwriting side of things. Mm-hmm. Like, between the two of us, we can go for hours about how it happens, and do you prefer if people know what it's about, or if they just take it and they want their own interpretation of it, and like the stories behind the story, like not necessarily like, well, you wrote this song, what's it about? It's like an overall production of your record, of your single, of your this, of your that. We dive deep on that as well. Like we've had to kind of lean on that a little bit here and there with some of the newer bands. But yeah, that's another thing that I hope to give to people, because, a lot of people listen to our podcast. They don't know the first thing about being on stage or writing music or anything like that. So for us to open somebody else's head and get their perspective on the process is always really cool to me.
That'd be fun for us too. I have no interest in interviewing somebody.
Yeah.
But I love conversations.
Yeah.
You know?
So I know that's why podcasts have kind of blown up, because it's like we all watch like those Entertainment Tonight, like press junket type shit.
Right, yeah.
Where it's just like literally a factory of asking questions and just moving through it so that everybody has the exact same information and then puts it out on their channel. And like at least like podcasts, like there's the personality of the host, the personality of the guest, like just how the conversation flows when you put those two groups in a room and seeing how that comes out. Like, yeah, man, it's got to be exhausting, like for anybody to go through a junket and just like, we don't, okay, yeah. And then I was making this song and I was like, oh, I'm sad. And then the album came out and everybody liked it. And okay.
Yeah.
That's how it is with like,
you know, I like you guys work festivals before. We did So What Fest, and a lot of it was just like that. It was just like, okay, you go here, you got your X amount of minutes, you go here, you go here, you go here. And that's what we like, that's what we aimed for. Like, that was our big thing, was we stationed out in the press room and everybody kept looking because they were like, oh, they look like they're having a good time. We did a hot sauce tasting. We did
we're gonna hurt you.
All sorts of like we had scary kids scaring kids, and just the most vulgar shit came out of everybody's mouth because you know what? We're here to just have fun. Like you did your business. Yeah. Please tell us about your album. Please tell us about you. But like, people are investing in people now.
Yeah.
So it's not just the record. It's not just the, whatever. If people gravitate towards you, that's what they want to see.
Yeah,
so we want to show that.
It takes seconds to give you my website, what I've got coming out, where you can find my new music. That's seconds. Okay, we have 45 minutes.
Yeah.
What are we going to do with the rest of that time? Certainly not
something
talk about that same shit.
Yeah.
But I'm interested because Lizzie, you have a broadcasting degree, right?
Yeah.
So going through that, how?
Whoa! You going into our notes?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm just interested. I'm just interested.
No overlap between pods.
By the way,
you know what I mean?
They're going to be on our podcast after this.
They are going to be on our podcast.
This is going to be like a two-parter.
So for the recording, if you're listening to this, we will also have an episode on theirs. And you can go to their website, which will take seconds at the end.
Or go to your streaming platform.
We'll tell you at the end.
You take the streaming platform and just...
Wait till the end.
I will say, though, I guess to that degree, over Lala weekend, so my radio station, we own a bunch of different ones. So after I was connecting press at Lala, I ran back to Unload Audio. Then I got an email. They're like, hey, in an hour, Ian Dior is going to be performing for like 3 songs. I said, I fucking love Ian Dior. I'm going to go down the hall and jump in and be like, what's up? And watch the performance. So I get in there and they interview with one of our pop radio stations. And you can tell it's just very forced. The questions are very, very generic. I'm sitting there like cringing because I'm like, I understand that this is how it works. But I could never do that. Like that's why I don't like being on air, is because everything's just so generic like that and like really structured and uniformed. And you could tell like Ian Dior was just like, because they said like he's a very private person. He's very like quiet. You could tell he looked like very uncomfy. He was just kind of like, yeah, like I kind of did this. And like he would answer another question that they had coming up already. And then they would still ask that question. And I'm like... Okay, guys.
Be anywhere else.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, like, listen, the 3 songs he performed, I had a good time afterwards. Just getting through the 10-minute Q&A, I was like, listen, if you let me up on there, I can do 10 times better, besties. I was looking at our engineers. I was like, yo, Rick, bestie, put me in, tag me in. But it's like that just because it has to be structured like that. But it depends, like radio station, because one of our other stations, a legacy rock station, so you can be more like conversational because a lot of the DJs have been there for decades, for longer than I've been alive.
I'm saying, like, does it have to be structured like that? Like, they're getting their asses kicked.
It just depends on like the formatting, really.
And you gotta realize, like, a morning radio person could do something a little bit more geared this way,
right,
as opposed to just like you get like a middle spot on Afternoon Drive where people are expecting music, and you're like, hey, we got this interview with so and so, and they just throw it in, done.
Yeah, but look at anybody that's ever like blew up out of that kind of structured environment. There was always the people that kind of had a fuck it attitude, did what they wanted to do anyway. And it's so funny that because it's so regimented and it's so in a box that someone will do something different and they'll break out and they still just cannot fathom how that happened, and they just tighten the box. It's like, what? Like, do you want? I guess it's just there's this fear of trying things because any misstep could lose an advertiser or lose a sponsor or some shit like that. But it's just crazy to me. It's crazy to me how like certain things just don't evolve. It's like when everything around them is telling them to evolve. It's like, you know what people like? They're like, yes, I do. Thing. You should do that.
Nah, that's silly. It's just what the kids want. It'll evaporate soon. It's just a phase. It's like, kids
don't listen to radio. Kids can't drive.
Right. You know what kids do? They get old, and that's what we want, old. It's like,
we'll catch them later.
We'll get them.
I think I've literally told people, because like, I mean, it's radio, so you could say things that like you would not say in a regular corporate setting. Right. So that's why I don't do well in the traditional corporate setting whatsoever. But it's like, hey, only old people listen to this. And they're like, I mean, yeah. And I'm like, okay, so the issue is they're going to die soon. So then who's going to listen to it?
Your entire audience is in their deathbed right now.
I had that conversation with a bar owner that I worked for. I was like, your clientele that you're trying to keep is going to die. Like, some might later.
Yeah.
Like, on the way home. and not in a dangerous way, but because they're fucking old.
Yeah.
Is it who I think it is?
Of course it is.
Oh my God.
And it was like, it's like if you keep having the same like kinds of music and the same kinds of bands that play the same old stuff because you're afraid to alienate this old audience that's not going to stay with you, that's also not driving advertising. What are those? They're not new advertisers that have new money, are not appealing to those older people. Nothing against old people, but fuck.
Yeah.
No, I mean,
There's more people.
I mean, I got in trouble at the college that I ran the radio station for because I said, hey, we need to play younger music for a younger audience because this is literally a college. And one of my returning students, who was like in his early 30s, separate issue because he didn't like that I was younger than him teaching the whole thing. He was like, oh, that's ageist of you to say. I'm like, we are literally on a college campus.
That's ageist.
But you know what?
I said, we need to play younger music, my guy.
Ageist.
I'm saying the Kid Leroy, okay?
It fucking slaps.
It absolutely slaps.
Listen,
also, side note, Lizzie is ageist.
No one,
so we're just gonna go ahead and put that out there. Like, Lizzie is 100% ageist.
Oh my God. Brian is just mad. I call him the old man sometimes, and that's it.
I'd be mad too. That's mean. That's mean. Why would you be mean like that?
I call him
like,
Bestie and he gets mad too. There's no winning.
Well, you don't. It's like, my name is Brian. Everything you're going to say to me sounds passive aggressive, period. So if you're like, oh, you're my best friend, it's like, what the fuck does that mean?
I said bestie. Oh no, I said bestie. Someone else, Brian's like, why are you saying bestie not derogatory to other people? I'm like, whoa, bestie, calm down.
I'm like, you're being real mean to these people. It's just like, no, they like it.
It's so good talking to you, Brian.
Yeah.
I can't wait. I really can't wait for our episode where I could just refer to him as Brian.
Yes.
I'm just going to be like, Sweet B.
Sweet B.
Sweet B, bro.
So anyway, B movie.
B movie, Bri.
Way to be fucking generous.
Brian B. Benson from the B movie.
What? Is that a real person's name in that movie? Because I
Barry B. Yeah, he is the B in the B movie.
I've only read the script as it was tweeted.
Wow.
No, he is the B.
No, isn't it Seinfeld?
What?
No, but the name of the character is Barry B. Benson.
Oh, you're changing it to Brian B. Benson.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay.
The Trippy B.
The Trippy B.
Trippy B.
Okay. Understood.
Isn't Antonio Banderas the nasal next B?
Yes, he is. Yes, he is. He's also Puss in Boots.
Yeah, he is.
He is Puss in Boots.
Another sequel coming out soon. Go see it, Lizzie.
Oh, God.
Kidding.
Will you be too old to see it by then, Lizzie?
No. No.
Once Lizzie turns 30, it's over.
It's over.
That's it.
Yeah, there's nothing good that happens after 30.
Slow decline. It's a very fast decline.
Yeah, Brian literally set me down over this. So he's like, you have everything going for you. You're not 30. I was like, are you? I'm like, are we all right now?
I don't remember saying that, but I was right. Lala was a wild weekend. I don't remember getting into this conversation. But
This was
I was
after
so
the wine. This was after your carafe of wine.
Yeah, that's unfair.
Yeah, what's up with a carafe of wine?
I'm trying really hard
Lollapalooza?
not to call it a giraffe of wine.
Yeah. What's the question?
How do you walk around Lollapalooza with a carafe of
Normally
wine?
I do. Like you can just take it and you can get cups if you want them, but like fuck middlemen. So
Giraffes have a big opening, so you're good.
Yeah. You can just like it has a little lid and it closes and you can just sip away. And normally I do. And normally I just get about.
I think of a carafe as like the big bowl.
Yeah,
on the bottom
yeah.
of glass and then
No, this is much thinner. But it fits an entire bottle of rosé. And we were going to walk around and go check stuff out, but then we ran into friends and started talking, and then I ended up just finishing the bottle while standing there, and I'm like, uh-oh.
Yeah, then they were like, do you want more? They're like, I think you need some water. I think we're going to give you some water. And I was like, you know what? That might be good for him.
It was also getting late. I'm like, okay, I don't need another bottle of wine. It's like about to be 7 p.m. Like if I got this earlier in the day, fine.
Is like rosé and like white Zinfandel
are the same.
Are like the apple juice.
They're the same thing. What other rosé do people drink?
I don't know. It's basically the grape juice of the wine world. So so my kids would love it.
Yeah. Yeah.
My kids would get so fucked up.
Drink it up.
Yeah. So that is an issue, especially like Lollapalooza.
Your kids
you're
drunk
hot.
at Lollapalooza would be terrible.
Like if it's like super hot and stuff, I can see why you just like killed it.
It's like, I'm so thirsty, and it's like I'm not hydrating at all.
Yeah.
And who are these bands?
Who are these bands? Who is this Charlie XCX?
Yeah, we missed Charlie XCX because we were too busy talking. But the previous, like in 2019, no, 20
right before COVID.
No, 2022. Or sorry, 2021.
2021.
Yeah. So when they finally got it again, it's like, all right, let's get a couple bottles of wine, have a little party, and then I came out of my blackout in the middle of a set, and I was like, just like the set was great.
That's
it was a DJ / singer, and like it was going great. It was like dancing, and there's like a couple in front of me, and it's just like, hey, you want a sip of this? And I'm like, yeah, fuck it.
Yeah, I like lost him, and I was like, hey, where are you? He's like, I don't know, and I was like, uh-oh.
I don't know.
Time travel.
I love random. I love mystery beverages.
Yeah. We actually have
strangers.
an episode from long ago. It was before we started having guests.
Yeah.
And it's named Mystery Flask.
Yeah, Mystery
because he was exposed to COVID. Or no, I was exposed to COVID.
Right.
And we had to do it remotely.
Yeah.
And he went to his studio and just found a flask somewhere.
Found a flask.
And he's just
I don't know what's in it.
Yeah.
Because it was a flask that had been there for a while. And we just kind of went with it. It was great. I mean,
the flask wasn't great.
It didn't taste great.
Yeah,
it was a good time.
The grimaces he made were.
It was a good time, had by all.
So for wine, again, like I tried drinking wine during a set playing a show, don't ever do that.
Yeah, bad choice. Bad choice.
Yeah,
that sounds terrible.
It's awful.
Like,
That's awful. Like, I know you guys do the emo night DJing and stuff like that.
Yeah.
If you want to sing anything, don't drink red wine.
Wine's not your way to go.
So
don't do it.
Yeah,
Whiskey.
I do sing in a couple
drinking.
bands, and I did a wedding on Friday too, and like I was DJing the wedding, and I played. My band played in the wedding, and the vibes were just completely dead the entire time. Like no one was into whatever I was playing, and a lot of it was requests, but most of it was just like, I'm gonna play songs for the kids, and taking Lizzie's advice, even though she's ageist. And nobody
you're just mad I was at MGK and you weren't.
Yeah, I was real mad you were at MGK
because Avril Lavigne came out.
I was pretty mad she was at MGK. The point is that nobody was vibing during the DJ set, but then as soon as the band started playing, it was like a rush to the stage, right?
Nice.
And within 5 songs, the groom had been crowd surfed and broke part of the stage at a wedding venue, not at an actual like concert venue, right? It's not prepared for somebody to be like drop kicking anything. Then he brought us like a tray of shots, and we're like, okay, this is a delight. Thank you for this tequila tray. Beautiful. And then he comes back with like a round of White Claws for everybody. It's like, okay, beautiful. Thank you. I was running out of the 2 White Claws I already had on stage. Beautiful. Comes back a little bit later with another tray of tequila, and I'm like, dude, you hired me to do this job, you know?
I'm
like,
not going to be able to do this job if we keep doing this
because of you.
I remember there was once a time. There was once a time where I was like, the more I drink, I sound better.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. You don't.
And then you find out.
You're the only one saying that.
Yes.
You literally are.
I also was that guy. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. We all were.
Yeah.
If you're a singer, we all were. For sure.
Guitar player too. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've heard that from guitar players back in the day. I was like, I really like old fashions now. I'm growing into liking whiskey. I'm gonna have a bunch. Let's play a show.
Ooh.
That was
really feeling the vibe now.
Yeah. A friend of mine said, dude, I heard somebody next to me go, okay, when does this shitty band get it done? And I'm like, they were probably right. They were probably right. I was like, not my best showing that night.
I've had a guitarist like because of this guy. Apparently, he was the bartender that night.
Yes,
and my band had played. It was a Halloween. Was it Halloween?
I was a bartender, but I went back behind the bar.
He went back behind the bar, and my guitar player blamed him for getting so drunk he blacked out mid-set.
Uh-oh.
And he literally stood there with a guitar and just like stared out into the abyss. That was awful.
I did that.
You did that. You shoved it down his throat.
Fair. That was fair. I'll take the blame on that one. That's legit.
Later on, he did occupy the bathroom.
He did
in the
straddled the floor.
He straddled the floor,
just
like
hugging
the toilet.
Yeah, and I got good photos.
It looked like Fruit Ninja had just been in the floor.
Oh no.
Yeah. I basically what my other singer and I did. We were like, "Hey, can you get his wallet?" And we found out that there's a service here on Long Island.
Oh, every place should have this.
Yeah, they should have this, where you call them up, and they will come with 2 people.
Yep.
One will drive your car home, and the other will drive you home, and they'll drop you off.
Oh.
And luckily, those people were not murderers.
Yeah.
Because he made it home safe that night.
Yeah. Volunteer basis.
Right.
Yes.
I was about to say that sounds good, but like, what if they are murderers? So.
Lizzie's too worried about being murdered. Lizzie's also a murderist.
I think that ride home it was like 25 minutes. I think it cost him like $130, and he's like, "Dude, you guys helped me out. How'd you pay for it?" We're like, "Oh, don't worry, they have your debit card number.
You paid for it. Yeah. You paid for it, and you paid for a round of drinks for everybody that got you in the car.
He paid for it a lot that night.
Oh, he did.
That's why it was.
Oh, he certainly did.
I'm going to call out a drummer of mine because I think the story is really funny too, where he went to like I think he did like an event earlier in the day, and it was a drinking event, and his wife was going to drive him to our show. And he sends us a Snapchat of him screaming one of the songs that we're playing in the car. And I'm like, well, he's not going to show up good. And he comes in just hot, just super hot, rolling in like, guys, I can play. It's fine. And he is sound checking for sound check, like just hitting the shit out of the drums. And they're like, can you stop? I'm like, this guy's going to fucking kill this for us.
Oh my God. Oh,
his amazing. Parents came to see the show. And by, I think probably halfway through, he started to focus finally. Oh, and he was like head down, just like drumming, and kept going after the song was over many times. And then after our first set, he goes, I'm so sorry. I am just so sorry. I'm so sorry.
He came to in that moment.
He came to like God came down from the sky and said, "What the fuck you doing, man? Get it together."
That was a sobering moment.
Literally, figuratively.
That does happen.
He was also wearing a shirt that was like tequila and gin and whiskey and Malort and shit. And I'm like, dude, what is it?
Was that everything you just drank, bestie?
Yeah, I'm like, dude, you're advertising the reason you suck right now.
Well, you know what? If you're gonna do it, wear it like a badge of honor. You know, like this is why.
You gotta do it.
This is why I'm like this.
I'm so glad we.
I had a moment where I decided to. I got so drunk on stage that I was playing the wrong song. I decided to take my guitar off, like dress style, and shimmy it down my body.
It was the greatest show ever.
Step out of it and then walk like I'm playing the garden. I'm just like, I'm done. And then I just like walked off stage, and we're literally in a place that's so small that I took like 4 steps and I was at the bar.
Yeah.
And I just sat against the bar, and my band's on stage going like, we have the rest of the set. What's going on, man? What's
up? What's up, dude? What's up, bestie?
What's happening, bud? What are we doing here?
And it just the way he did it, because I was there. It was fantastic.
You were there?
I fucking played that show.
Oh
shit. Okay.
You wouldn't remember that.
Oh, you know what? It's your guitar player that did that to me. And that's why.
Oh.
Yes, that's why. That's
my
why
old
that
guitar
happened.
player.
Yeah.
Okay.
Actually, yes.
Karma payback.
Karma payback.
P.S. He did get back on stage to play more songs.
Mm-hmm.
Incorrectly.
He did forget to tune that guitar that he had just thrown on the floor.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That was a set. He was up there.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember coming to the rehearsal after that set, and my whole band was sitting down, and they were like, "Have a seat." And I was like, "What?"
But I was so good.
But I did so like, great.
I'm the leader. And they were like, "You need to sit down." You sit down.
I'm number one.
We need to have a conversation about
an
your
intervention.
Yeah, they literally had an intervention with me, and I was like, you know what, guys, you're right. You're right.
I will seek help on this day.
Next time, I'll have 2 less drinks.
Yeah. Before playing.
Yes, and I did. The next time, I had probably 2 less drinks.
Yeah.
I will never take my guitar off.
In such a fashion. That was fantastic. That was fun.
Yeah.
As hell. Oh man.
So yeah, we've all had those moments.
Yeah, it happens.
Lizzie, have you had one of those moments?
Well, I don't play on stage, so I mean we do, but like I'm not like a.
But like
you've had, come on.
But you're a podcaster. Come on, you're a podcaster. Sometimes drinks. During the podcast. Have you ever we've had podcasts where we're like, I'm not going to listen back to that. And yeah. We've done that before. In fact, our first 2 episodes was literally like we finished the podcast and we looked at the time and we're like, that's like fucking 3 episodes.
Oh my God.
So we cut it in 2.
Yeah.
Right.
But by the end of that 3rd hour.
Yeah, we put it out anyway. We were like, we're like,
oops.
Just put it out.
Yeah, it was one of those things.
No one's watching.
You never had one of those?
No, I don't. I just have my seltzer water and my coffee when I do podcasting and such like that.
Whatever, Lizzie, you pro.
Yeah.
Professional.
Yeah, she says she's not corporate, but look at her.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Jeez. I feel like judged all
so sober and ageist.
Brian.
Brian. Brian.
Put that in your Twitter profile.
Sober and ageist.
No.
Sober and ageist.
No one will get the joke. They're gonna be angry.
It's not
at
for
me.
everyone else. It's for us.
It's for us.
Remember what we talked about? We talked about an audience of one. That's all that matters.
Your audience is 3.
I will.
But
I will offend 100 people to make one laugh.
yeah, just the guy in the back going,
Anytime. Somebody going,
oh, I got that one.
I'm like, cool, success.
Before I think before we do anything else.
Yeah.
I do think we hate to hijack this, but we've got some questions for you.
Oh fuck.
Oh boy.
We have this thing that we didn't do yesterday. It's called What's Your Bacon in 7 Questions. We put it out every Wednesday prior to your episode coming out and stuff like that. But we knew that we were coming to hang out with you. Mm-hmm. And what we like to do is ask questions that they're the meaning of life.
We want to find out your bacon.
Okay.
And I don't know if your listeners and your watchers have really gotten to know the nooks and crannies of your English muffin.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
The double stuff of your Oreo.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Both stuffs.
I'm a half stuffer, if anything.
What I would like to do,
I saw that on YouTube.
Is perhaps ask you some of those questions, if you don't mind.
I'll allow it.
Yeah.
All right.
Let's get into our crayons.
So we've just taken.
We're just taking over.
Show.
We're just
Fucking do it.
Turned it into what's your bacon in 7 questions.
Right.
I don't have the soundboard either.
So we started with 468,942 questions, and we whittled it down to just 7.
You're so fucking good.
Yeah.
So, Lizzie, Brian, are you ready for the 7 questions of death?
Wow.
I wish that I had
that's
like
really
a
intense.
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I've been watching
Of death.
I've been watching a lot of Death Clock stuff lately.
Yeah.
So
Fair.
Metalocalypse.
It's like everything is just of death.
Brutal.
Of the death.
I do feel like Liquid Death is trying to do that with their shit, and I'm like, yeah, okay, man. Not everything is violent. Ooh, delicious water.
I feel like they're trying to be like, hey, you remember everybody that was into like what was that clothing brand that was like Liquid Death?
Ed Hardy.
Affliction,
yeah.
Ed Hardy and Affliction. They're like, we thought we'd Affliction Ed Hardy some water.
Yeah. What are you gonna get it from
Liquid
the stream?
Death
It's
X
not
Ed
hard.
Hardy collab when?
Just for all the bros to be like, yeah, I'm drinking fucking water.
No, dude.
Yeah.
You think I'm gonna drink
Want to know
regular
what's
water, bro?
funny? One of my aunts gave me like a bunch of old Ed Hardy clothes from her neighbor that she didn't want anymore, and I deadass have Ed Hardy Ugg boots in my basement right now, and I'm like, yo, this is Y2K fashion as fuck.
Yes.
I currently have and have kept and still will wear. I have an Ed Hardy leather jacket that has no art on it at all. It's just a plain leather jacket, but it's gray. And it just, like it said, Ed Hardy, and I bought it because there's nothing on it. And I was like, I've got the plainest Ed Hardy shit ever.
I was about to say, I didn't even know that it would exist.
That was his boring era.
I didn't either. And it was like, I bought it at like Macy's for $20. I was like,
damn.
I have an Ed Hardy leather jacket.
Here's the thing: is Ed Hardy still like producing things in 2022?
I think he
Into
owns
a
Liquid
Sears.
Death.
Yeah, Liquid Death.
What
am I, an
we
amazing-
can Google that.
He's gonna find out. Well, while he finds out, I'm gonna start you guys on the 7 questions.
All right.
So question number 1 that we want to ask you. Now you're Chicagoans, right?
Yeah, go.
So
Chicagoans.
I'm from Indiana, so I'm not far. I spent much time in Chicago, and I know the value of Chicago pizza.
Okay.
But that's not your question.
I know. But for the second question, I
Introing
just
it.
wanted to say you're in Chicago.
Yeah.
How many pillows is too many?
No.
So you can let me set up something weird. Okay.
The answer is no. There's just like what? I'm too comfortable. That's dumb as shit.
Like, yeah, I was about to say, like, I have slept on a bed where it's just me, and I'm like, how many pillows are here? Like, say I'm at a hotel, and I'm like, how many pillows are here? And it's like, okay, 2 for my head.
Right.
I want to prop up my feet if I've been walking, so 1 for my footsies.
Okay.
2 to surround me, so
Okay.
I don't fall off the bed somehow. Who knows? I don't know. And then another one.
Yeah.
Like, and then like the one at my house, I
2,
just have a
3,
queen
4,
bed and I
5,
just sleep in the
that's
middle of
6.
it. So I just have a bunch of pillows everywhere, plus squishmallows, because those are also comfy and as pillows.
It's also
Okay.
It's double
All right.
duty.
I do like that. I like that. By the way, Ed Hardy is still a thing.
Yeah.
But,
Oh my God.
But if you want to save a couple of ducats, go to Shein and get.
Yeah.
Hold on. Well, I mean, besides cancer,
Yeah.
men graffiti print round neck tee.
Yo.
Listen,
it
I'll
looks
just go in the
just
basement
like
and
it.
I'll
That was
just
my
pull out
nickname
to
in
see what
college.
we have.
I mean, if you want your wish.com, Ed Hardy,
Yeah.
Shein's your place. Shein's your place.
Is Ed Hardy the Wish.com affliction?
Sure. Sure.
The generic brand, if you will.
Well, at least Affliction was worn by like fighters.
Yeah.
And so they like
Right.
they really
Okay.
could
They
kick
were
your ass as
afflicting.
opposed to-
Right,
You know.
right. Well, yeah, you kind of have to be.
Right.
I think.
I think so.
Like, you know how tough I am? I'm tough enough to wear a skull with eagle's wings
Yeah.
surrounded
That
by
is bedazzled.
sailor tattoos.
By like somebody going like this with a paintbrush.
It's like,
Uh,
dude, is wearing a shirt gay? Like, I need the shirt that makes me not look gay. Dude, you're doing it wrong, man.
Right, yeah. Everything you're doing is wrong.
yeah.
But try this water.
Yeah.
That's
Try this
water.
water. It is delicious. But question number 2. Yeah. Question number 2 is important because we are from New York. You are from Chicago. He's from Indiana, as you said. We have a buddy up in Chicago, good old Jacques from Pop Punk
Hell yeah.
Pizza.
Yep.
Good friend.
And we did a fun little thing where we swapped pizzas.
Yeah, we sent
And we
him one.
did
He sent us
tasting.
one.
And it was awesome. He sent us Lou Malnati's.
Yeah.
So I think that you guys might know the pizza game. So my question to you is this. Question number 2, what is the perfect pizza order?
Lizzie, we always go tavern style. I'm
Yeah,
going
we're
with tavern style.
Yeah.
I do think it is better than deep dish. That's nothing against
Yeah.
deep dish.
Deep dish is good, but it's like a once in a while thing because it's
Yeah.
so heavy. But tavern style is true Chicago style.
Yeah.
Tavern style is the super, like the
It's like a thin
cracker thin.
crust.
Thin
Yeah,
crust.
and like you always have that little like corner piece that you fight with people
Ooh,
for
yeah,
because it's so
yeah.
cute and tiny. You're like,
Oh, the triangle. Oh.
yeah,
Yeah. So like that. I always get pepperoni. I'm a peppy pep.
peppy boy.
I'm a pepper boy. I mean, that's like the idea that pizza in New York comes from the place right next to the subway is just a big problem to me. You should have its own little establishment where you're not also going to like just fucking get onto a train, right? Like I want pizza that is
But
separate.
the slice is the size of your head.
It is.
Yeah, which means that it's just carrying more of the train grease.
Yeah.
that's wafting up the
That's why we
steps.
stay so healthy.
Well, there's something about that train grease flavor.
Yeah.
Gives it charm. It's
My thing
charm.
is
the New
that
York
like
charm
if a
flavor.
pizza is too big, I have to eat it with a fork and knife. So tavern style, I don't need to do that.
Yeah.
I could just eat it.
You can eat New York pizza with a fork and knife, though, I think.
Yeah, but not if I'm running to
If
get
you're
a
a
train.
psychopath.
Well, you fold it. You fold it. That's why it's thin, so you can fold it.
Yeah.
Listen, when we went to Demos to get pizza, I ate it with a fork and knife, and everybody
I
bullied
folded-
me.
I folded that shit.
Yeah.
Fold that
it
shit up.
baby. Fold it up.
Yeah. It's like it's becoming a taco.
It's
Yeah.
becoming a no. I mean, tavern style is probably the best.
I think I might be a
style.
fork and knifeist.
Why?
Yeah,
For a
I'm against
specialty
it.
slice.
I'm against it. I'm against
Okay.
fork and knifing it.
I mean, like for like a specialty buffalo chicken slice, yeah, I would fork and knife sometimes. Or
do you
if
mean?
chicken franchise slice,
Communist? What's wrong with you?
sometimes.
Sometimes.
I know who's asking.
Lizzie, what about you? What's your favorite pizza order?
Yeah, for tavern style, I'm pretty simple. I would say just regular cheese, or if you wanted to one up it, add a little bit of onions on there too.
Ooh,
onions and peppers.
Red or white?
White, and then either green or red peppers, whatever's available.
Nice.
I like it. I like it.
Some green peps on there too. Pep and pep, you know.
I'm a fan with that. I'm a fan with that.
Yeah.
Question number 3. True or false question on this one. Cereal is a soup.
True.
False.
No.
I don't eat cereal with milk. I eat it dry, so
How do you eat soup?
with just soup.
Wet? Do you add wets to your soup?
Why? I don't like that. I don't like that, bestie.
Do you
cereal.
eat uncooked pasta?
Do you eat vegetables on their own?
Answer the question.
Do I eat vegetables? No, I'm an incredibly picky eater. It has to be mixed in with stuff.
This is
You don't eat vegetables raw though?
This is a
You
No.
only eat them in liquid?
If it's
No,
mixed in
like
with other
cooked down.
things.
Yeah.
If it's cooked down and it's
Oh,
mixed in
wow.
with other stuff, so I can't tell it's a vegetable.
Okay.
I have.
She's telling us onions and
All right.
peppers
All
on
right.
pizza.
All right.
Yeah, but it's mixed in with it though.
Okay.
Fair-
Okay.
okay.
All right.
Fair
All right.
enough. Hey, you know, everybody's got their things.
Yeah. Okay. Question number 4: gift cards. Great gift idea or lame gift idea?
Lame as fuck.
I
As a
think it's
person
a
who's
good.
received a lot of gift cards, lame as shit.
Yeah, but when we give you presents, you get mad.
I do not like. I don't think I like
What do
getting
you
any
want
gifts.
from us?
I don't
I'm
know.
going over there kicking your ass.
Fucking another day of just no problems is all I want for Christmas and my birthday. Just give me another day where I don't have to deal with shit. That's it. It's the gift that keeps on giving.
I love how our 7 questions, when we have more than one person answering them, it creates such a rift.
divide.
Such a-
Lizzie and I are ending the podcast after this episode, by the way. Finding out that she doesn't like cereal with wets, and she doesn't
finding
care
out
for
that
it.
regardless, you don't want fucking present. Nothing will make you
don't
happy.
I do not care about gifts that much, but I do think that, like, you know what's weird about like being a musician or being a podcaster or being like, you know, somebody with like a very clear hobby. That's every fucking gift you'll ever get. You'll get something like, oh, I heard you're a musician. Here's a CD. It's like, oh, I love Nickelback, but it's like I don't need more CDs. I'm making my own.
But then a
that
gift
no one
card.
will
If you
listen
give someone
to.
a gift card, then they can find what they want specifically for it.
I think that it's like you can find something very specific for somebody, but also like the amount of work that you have to do to find a good gift is like you know, you have to do that work. If you're not going to do that work, you don't have to get anything for that person. A gift card is like, I don't know what to get you, but I'm also going to get you something. And I tend to lean on like, just don't worry about it. It's fine.
But I feel like it's a good in between for
It
like.
could also be like, I was gonna get you this Nickelback CD, but instead I
I'm gonna
thought
let
I would
you
give you
decide.
something that you can put money towards a new microphone for your sweet, sweet baritone voice.
See,
I think it's more
See,
of just like,
that's-
I already have a microphone. Thanks.
yeah, that's what like I always ask for like
Okay,
gift
well,
for like
here's
Christmas
so
and my
bitchy.
birthday. I ask for gift cards, and I'll always ask when I was in undergrad, when I was in grad school, and now. Like even though I work downtown in the city a lot, all my family's like, what food like do you eat while you're down there? We'll give you gift cards so then you can use the gift cards to get lunch while you're down there. And I'm like, that's it. That's what I need.
right.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Now, here's the real test. Lizzie, how good of a gift giver is Brian?
I don't give gifts.
Brian, yeah, I don't think Brian gave me one gift when he went to Guatemala.
Yeah. And that was coffee.
Yeah.
Was it a good gift?
Yeah, I love coffee. Like he
So
gave
he's
me
a
like
great
yeah,
gift giver.
Guatemalan
One
straight
fucking
from
time,
the
dude.
fucking coffee tree.
One fucking time.
I thought that was sick.
I found coffee
you
on
take
the
your
tree.
one shot.
You're at
and you made
100%.
it.
You're
I'm
at
done
100%.
forever.
All right.
I did the gift. What else do
He
you
did
need?
the one gift.
I got the gift. We're done here.
I got you a gift. That is singular.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm a gift giver.
Yeah.
Gift giver.
I like it. I like it. All right. Question number 5. What number is Mike thinking of?
5.
4.
Cool. What's your go-to jukebox pick?
That is question 6. He doesn't like to.
What time of night is it? What time of day is it?
Shouldn't matter.
Oh.
Well,
Dealer's choice.
Yeah.
How
Dealer's
chaotic
choice.
are you? Are you just
depends.
saying you're not chaotic 100% of the time?
like in the past, it's been Skrillex.
Okay.
And it's like, yeah, maybe nobody in the pool hall wants to hear that. Maybe the 7-minute Rush song said maybe no one wants to hear Skrillex immediately after, but I don't care.
So, for like we always talk about it on our show, is there's two types of people. There's people who will go, read the room, catch a vibe, keep that vibe going.
Mm-hmm.
Or there's the ones that'll go,
Still read the room.
still read the room, and go, how do I scare everybody?
Fuck this room.
Yeah. Yep.
Brian, you're that person, I think.
I think the later at night it gets, I'm just like, I'm really sick of everyone else's terrible choices. I'm a DJ.
I can do better.
I can do
we go.
this. And then you're like, oh, I've had every whiskey in the bar. Let me go ahead and pick a song. I also have a lot of friends that are like, hey, I got touch tunes on my phone. What song do you want to hear? I'm just like, probably nothing you're going to play.
Lizzie, what about you?
I'm in the camp of Fall Out Boy, Jonas Brothers, or Hollywood Undead. At any given time. At any fucking given time.
Different choices.
I will say Hollywood Undead is definitely a hot take.
I love Hollywood Undead.
Because they could like potentially they could make you real hype.
Yeah.
Or they can make the other side of the room real angry.
It's true.
So
yeah.
I like that. I like that choice.
I like that choice,
It's
too.
polarizing. I like that.
Lizzie wants to find her exact community in that bar at that specific time. She's like, whoever's going off, I'm hanging out with them.
See, I think
Yeah.
that's great. That's how
Yeah,
you make
that's
new
the way to
friends.
do it.
That's how you
That
make new
is
friends.
absolutely the way
You
to
put
do it.
something in, it starts, and then you just start scanning the room.
Yeah, you're like, who knows every word to Undead by Hollywood Undead?
Yep. And I'm
You.
going to
Let's go.
immediately walk
You
over to
do.
that person. I'm going to be like, we're friends.
Yep. I like that. We've
Let's have a
reached-
bar pie with red onions. White onions.
White onions.
Yeah.
White onions.
We've reached a very important part of our 7 questions.
Yeah,
It's
the
the 7th question.
The
Yep.
7th question.
Yep.
Now, the 7th question is important because depending on your answer to the 7th question, you may or may not qualify for a bonus question.
Okay.
Now, in the history of our show, which we are 100 and
120
something,
episodes.
120 episodes in.
They're going to say years. I'm like,
was
Liz is
like, wow,
about to
that's
get real
crazy.
ageist on you.
Brian.
120 years in right now
Yeah.
to our podcast.
You should have heard it was on the record player.
The
Been ahead of our
Victrola.
time.
we were way into the future.
We have had exactly the amount of people that have not gotten it is less than the people that have gotten it.
Carry the 3. 0.
None. Nobody has not gotten it. So you would be the first, which is something.
Yeah, sure is.
Yep.
It's not nothing.
Yeah.
So see how you do. This one is it's a feel thing. So really kind of like take your time with it. See how it hits you in the feel. I mean, this is we're emo here.
Yeah.
So see,
You're all about the feelings.
see
Feelings.
what it pulls out of you. All
On
right.
deck.
See what it pulls out of you.
Yeah.
How do you feel about garden gnomes?
Pass.
I'm gonna be real chaotic because my best friend collects garden gnomes,
What the fuck?
and her entire apartment is filled with gnomes that she has to tell her roommate, you need to deal with the gnomes. They're all around her kitchen, in her bedroom. They are now in the dining room and the living room now.
Wow.
And every time I see a cute little gnome, I buy one for her, bring it over to her house.
What I'm saying is, you know what the gift is. You already know
I
what
know
you're
what
gonna
the
get 'em
gift
for a
is.
gift.
Every
Use a
time I'm
gnome
at the
gift
dollar
card.
store, we were talking, me and my best friend were walking around somewhere, she was like, I think this is the year of the gnome. I'm like, why'd you say that? She's like, I just seen so many gnomes. I think this had to be like last year, like around Christmas time. She was like, I just see so many gnomes. I think it's going to be the year of the gnomes. And I deadass saw Halloween gnomes at Home Goods. I was like, oh, bitch, she was right. I was like, ooh, that's a cute fucking gnome.
Dude,
I sent it to her.
There are gnomes that are like dressed up like horror villains. Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
The Starbucks near my house has a little coffee barista gnome that they made their own Starbucks apron for, and it has little pins on them. And I deadass almost stole it so I could give it to my friend.
It's definitely flair.
You should steal it.
Honestly.
Steal it. Although now
we've said that on the air.
Again. We've said it on the air, so if it disappears, you're going to be blamed anyway.
That's okay. I mean, what are they going to do?
We've never gotten to pass before. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But we've also never had somebody who
knows someone that's a collector.
So I do think they get the bonus question.
Yeah, I think so too.
Okay.
I agree.
Okay, guys.
I agree.
The bonus question is a multiple choice.
Hold it together, guys. Professional.
I just was like, dude, I'm sticking with pass no matter what the follow-up is. I'm just sticking with pass. I don't do shit.
This is a multiple choice. So, bacon. Mm-hmm. Is it a topping? Is it a side? Is it a main course?
Yes.
It's a side. It's a side.
Professionals here. Okay. No. All right. Final answer?
Yeah, final answer for me.
Taking too much away.
Well, one half of you answered this correctly.
Thank you. You meant me, right?
Possibly.
All right.
Pretty sure.
I have a 50% chance of being the one who got it right.
Oh my God.
The one in the blue room.
The one in the blue room.
That's got Nick.
Or the one with the bassy voice.
The one in the red room.
The bassy voice.
That's Lizzie.
The one in the red room. I do like the color coordination, though. I do have to say.
I do like that.
Yeah. I enjoy that. Is that something you guys did, like? Was that on purpose?
Unintentional. I just bought this at Target last year because I liked the bat.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. I like the bat too, but it's giving me like a 3D glasses thing.
Yeah.
Like
okay,
what we're going for.
All right.
Just a little bit of it's flair. We're gnomey up in here. You know,
it's retro. It's flair. It's good. I love it.
So
we're chilling with the gnomies.
Lizzie, you've answered incorrectly.
Yes, you're wrong.
Brian, you have answered correctly.
Indeed.
Did it. I won podcasting. We did it.
I won podcasting.
Faces are gone. We're back.
You've won nothing.
Fuck.
Well, our undying respect.
Good. I'm really glad that I didn't get a gift card for winning because I would have just given it back.
He would have been really mad. He would have been upsetty about it.
Yeah.
I love gift cards.
It would have been a gift card to like your local grocery store, and we would have been like, you're only allowed to buy bacon with it. How great would that have been?
I mean, pretty okay.
Right?
Because I have now 3 options to use it as a side, as a main course. The topping.
Because you know what's up.
He gets it. Lizzie, stop being so picky.
Wah, wah. Come on now.
Can't help it.
Well, you know, sometimes you got to be picky. We get it. We get it. Sometimes you got to be choosy. Some of those times you're incorrect. That's all right. That's all right. You're going to be right sometimes too. Just not this time. All right.
You're right in your own way for yourself.
Exactly. Yeah. That's true. That's true.
But you have put this out on the internet now, which means that, you know, Twitter.
Right.
Twitter. Which you're not on.
Yeah.
Twitter's going to harshly judge you about your bacon choices.
Did she really say this about bacon? It's giving me performance. But then we're going to
have people be like, but what about vegans? It's going to be like, we were not addressing that
Have you
whatsoever.
ever considered what vegans think about bacon?
No, I have never.
Yes.
Yeah.
I've had vegan bacon and it's pretty good.
Yeah, some of it is.
And it can be used for...
I mean, it's not bacon.
It can be used for top
It's not bacon.
Yeah.
But
it's adjective bacon, you know?
It's adjective. Again, with the fucking adjectives with you.
I'm sorry that I use a normal part of the English language. Lizzie is also anti-Oxford comma, and I am not about that shit.
Yeah, because the AP style
he does not care about the English language.
I like commas.
Anti-grammar.
Yeah.
We have a shirt. We do have a shirt all about grammar.
Yeah, you can find it at bigasmypodcast.com.
Let's just get all the plugs in too, because we gotta go to your pod now.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Yeah, drop all the plugs. Let's do that little section of it. And
you can find us at baconismypodcast.com. There you can find all of the shows. You can find some swag under Bacon is My Fashion. You can find our t-shirts and all that kind of fun stuff. We do have a grammar one that's pretty good, a thesaurus. Theosaurus is a dinosaur.
Yeah,
stuff.
I like that.
We also have Bacon is My Passion's music is also on there. So really, if you go there, you can find us anywhere. Just use the hashtags What's Your Bacon and Bacon is My Pod.
Yeah, all the social media is Bacon is My Pod.
Are there any specific episodes people should check out that you're like, I'm real proud of this one?
I mean, you've met us now.
Yeah,
we've been hanging out for an hour and 45 minutes. Does it seem like we should be proud of anything we do?
Yeah, we're not proud of a damn thing, but you can find all the episodes on strangerhoodtv.com, which is our YouTube page.
Yes, where you can also find other cool
if you're
things.
like, how can I possibly get even more of that? We do have a Patreon as well, so jump over there, and we have videos of us eating horrible hot things where we almost throw up and terrible.
Some of us do calisthenics.
Yeah,
and it's good stuff. It's a lot of fun stuff.
There's a lot of Bacon is My Podcast out there. Be a part of the BIMP squad. Bimping ain't easy.
Indeed.
A lot of bimping to get done.
Exactly. Big bimping.
Anyway, listen to the Jay-Z episode where he says big.
Yeah.
If you have to change the letters around, it would have to be pig bimping. I don't know.
Pig bimping.
Oh,
pig bimping.
Way to go!
It's got to be somebody's Twitter profile name.
Oh my god.
Ben and G's, man.
Or or an indie artist or something. Anyway, well, thank you guys both for being on. Make sure everybody out there is subscribed. I mean, to this pod too. If you're listening,
that'd be cool if you're subscribed to us.
And also
too.
subscribe.
5-star reviews.
5-star reviews for both of us.
Yeah.
For this podcast.
Or
your
you're
day
cowards.
today requires a 10-star review. 5 for BIMP, 5 for ESC. Escape.
It's so easy.
Yeah.
Oh, and 5 stars as compared to 10 stars, you know how much more it costs? Nothing.
Nothing.
Yeah.
Not a thing.
Yep. Buy in bulk.
This.
We got a real Costco situation with our podcast reviews. You buy in bulk, you save something. The environment. So
a baby. You save a baby.
Dude, a whole ass baby. It's just fine.
Ass baby.
Yeah. It's just fine now, Like we were worried about it, but it's like
It's fine now. It's fine.
Like, there's 5-star reviews twice. That baby's gonna be okay.
Yeah. Great job, baby.
That baby isn't gonna be ugly.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, 5-star reviews unless you hate babies. And whatever.
In which case,
and then everybody's gonna judge you.
Live your life.
Yeah. These are your choices to make, but also leave 10 individual stars, 5 each. Yeah. Jimmy, Mike, thank you guys so much for being on the pod tonight.
Thanks,
Thanks, guys.
Thank you guys for having us.